Videos from Iran are still coming out. They show the chaos on the streets. They show how much pressure the regime is under. So tonight we've compiled 5 videos for you that tell the story of Iran. The most dramatic, the most consequential images that show how serious the challenge before the regime is. And before we start, let me warn you, some of these pictures are quite disturbing, so we advise viewer discretion. Our first video is from a mosque in Tehran, which was burnt down. Take a look. Now, this was a serious escalation because look at where it's happening. Iran is a country where a young woman was killed for not wearing a hijab properly. Now, in the same country, a mosque has been set on fire, that too in the capital, Tehran. It shows you how deep the anger runs. Iran's Revolutionary Guards issued stern warnings, but the protesters paid no heed. They kept chanting slogans against the regime. Death to the dictator, death to Khamenei. That's what they said. Those slogans rang through the air as they set the mosque on fire. Video number 2 is from outside a morgue in Tehran. Again, these pictures are quite disturbing. Those were dead bodies you saw inside dozens of body bags, presumably of protesters. This video is from outside a forensic medical center in Tehran. The bodies were placed on the streets. In fact, Iran's state television has also been broadcasting such images, although they say the dead are the victims of, as they put it, armed terrorists. Basically, Iran is trying to spin this as the act of a foreign power, but the protests tell a very different story. They've spread across the country. The scale is staggering. Reports say more than 10,000 people have been arrested, nearly 500 protesters killed, and almost 50 security personnel dead. Our third video is from northeastern Iran. It talks about the return of the Shah. Pahlavi will return, long live the king. That's what these protesters are saying. They're referring to Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah, who lives in the United States. He has not returned to the country since the 1979 revolution. Pahlavi is now positioning himself as a unifying figure, as someone who can lead Iran if the regime collapses. And sitting in the United States, he's calling for more protests. We'll tell you more about him in just a bit. For now, look at the location of this protest. And the location is important to note because it happened in Mashhad. Mashhad is one of Iran's most important religious cities. It is home to the Imam Reza Shrine. It is one of the holiest and most significant pilgrimage sites for Shia Muslims. Iran is a Shia majority country. Historically, Mashhad has witnessed power struggles between the monarchy and the Ayatollahs. So when protesters call for the return of Pahlavi here in this city, it's not just nostalgia, it's an act of defiance, a direct rejection of the Ayatollah's regime. And this has become a defining feature of these protests, because the same demand was echoed in Tehran too. Take a look at video number 4. Iran's authorities claim that things are under control. The statement came from the foreign minister. We have no way of verifying it though, because the pictures take time to trickle out, so we don't know if the situation is indeed under control. We don't know if the streets of Tehran have gone silent, but we can say for sure that the protests have spilled beyond Iran's borders. Over the weekend, there were demonstrations across the globe, each one more dramatic than the other. In London, protesters targeted the Iranian embassy. One man scaled the embassy's balcony. He raised an old flag, the one that was used before the Islamic Revolution, and then tore down the current flag of Iran. In Canada, Iranian women staged an open act of defiance. They burned photographs of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And this, in fact, has become one of the most widely circulated images of this protest. But we must underline that this happened in Toronto, not in Tehran. And the most serious escalation came in Los Angeles. This is video number 5. A protest turned chaotic when a U-Haul truck drove into the crowd. One person was struck and the driver was taken into custody. It just goes on to show that what began on the streets of Iran is now reverberating around the world.